Okay. All right, so let's now go. We've got 3 people signed up for the audience, and I want to call up someone who's been here before. Avila, how about coming to the podium, Mike? Representative Carter, would you want to do a proper introduction?
No, I just.
Scribbles?
Which one?
There we go.
Who's comment? Okay.
Scribbles. Thank you,
Well,
Chairman.
welcome to the, back to the Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee. Appreciate you coming down here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, committee. Thank you, Chairman.
And happy birthday, Margie! Your dad grows the best peaches. You're so lucky.
Thank you for having us. For all who don't know me, my name is Aviva Bluzell. I founded the Georgia Hemp Economic Revival Organization over 10 years ago now to educate, because I think there's a lot of education that is needed. I started by just writing the song Cannabis Car. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? People are still confused if I'm talking about the Cheech and Chong car. But in honor of Black History Month, I just want to add that George Washington Carver, it wasn't about peanuts. He actually created hemp fuel and hemp paint and a bunch of hemp products. Chemurgy. So with that said, is it not true that cannabis has been prohibited for about 100 years? And is it not true that some people are still sitting in jail for cannabis? And is it not true that it's kind of metaphorical of if someone came into my closet and took all my clothes and said it was bad for people and they needed to clean it up because it was dirty, and now all of a sudden they gave me back the sleeves, and now they're giving me back a pant leg. And I think we just need to recognize that that is how some people feel. And I've been following the legislation and commenting when I can in the past 6 years, but I'm not sure if we've taken the full grasp of power and responsibility about the opportunity to bring this plant back with more healing and less punishment, with more love and less fear, with more education and less miseducation, with gratitude and forgiveness, because I think what protects our children more than anything else is having the parents around. And if there's any opportunity to amend any cannabis law to create more social equity, I think we need to grab it and run with it, because we are healing from the cannabis prohibition. And I'm so grateful that you all are listening to these comments, because there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of feelings, and even if someone isn't being targeted, they might feel targeted. And if, you know, there's a lot of talk about that in the federal legalization, in reparations and forgiving. Can we forgive people for using a joint so that we can bring the father back home to make sure that they're not eating THC gummies in addition to packaging it appropriately? And just to add, my brother works in the emergency room, pediatrics in New York, and he's seen a few cases, and I just want to remind you, yes, THC, it just makes them really high. I said, what do you use to remedy it? He goes, it's time. But, you know, it's just like alcohol. If they get a hold of it, they can fall down the stairs. They can hurt themselves. I know someone whose child was killed in a car accident because someone was irresponsible with a gummy. So yes, I really appreciate all of these controls and the measures, but I also think education protects our children just as much, if not more. It protects our consumers. It protects me. I'm a recovering sugar addict too. People send me products all the time. I'm tempted to eat the whole package too. I don't even think the twist tops are enough for me. I want the blister packages to stop me from popping one after another, right? Even though I typically just leave it in a drawer. Let me see. I just really appreciate you bringing up educating, not only for our children to understand the history of what's going on, but also to educate people who want to get into this business. A lot of people don't have coaches or friends in the business, and they do have an economic disadvantage, and the education can help them. I'm wondering, you know, if the Ag Commissioner can do an educational program, maybe the the licenses that have the range, if the license, if 494, 1286 passes, then perhaps consider the economic equity when you're doing that sliding scale. That could be an option. And I think I've said, oh, well, the last thing I want to say about advertising, I really think it's ironic that we advertise sugar to children to begin with. It's so toxic and so poisonous, and I just want to put that on the record that it is a little bit off balance, that we're okay with saying, you know, silly rabbit tricks are for kids when it has so much sugar in it, it's going to cause diabetes eventually. And speaking of advertising, we need to be more pragmatic and look at the music industry and see how our children are influenced by that kind of advertising as well.
Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Your passion for him and all the benefits of it through the years. So thank you for coming here.
Thank
we got
you.
One Representative Purple.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your comments, but I do greatly disagree in comparing THC use with kids on alcohol or on sugar. There are significant findings of the long-term health impacts, mental health problems that we see with kids. Kids that eat fried chicken a lot later on, but we're looking at psychosis and long-term debilitating things. And THC use for kids is not the same as eating a lot of sugar or fried foods or if they get involved in alcohol. So
Thank you for your...
I don't think that was your intention, but I want to make sure that in this hearing, in this committee, when we're looking at this bill to protect kids, that we don't minimize the impact of THC on kids.
Thank you for your comment. And the difference is they might get into a package, unfortunately, because it's left laying around, which parents need to know not to do that. But sugar is a daily thing, often that children eat. And if you read the book Sugar Blues by William Duffy, it breaks down some studies where they actually link sugar to schizophrenia and other mental diseases as well. So it is just as important, I think.
Okay, thank you for those comments. We've got a couple more we're going to try to get to fairly